I think it's important to have a California tribal college for a variety of reasons. One, nearly a fifth of the nation's federally recognized tribes are here in California, yet there's no tribally specific college for individual Indians to attend here in California. Two, as somebody who grew up in Indian country and lived in a very small town until I went away to college, it's really difficult for California Indian kids to leave their community to go to school. Some kids can't do that for traditional reasons, cultural reasons, economic reasons. So I think it would be great for there to be an option for kids who can't go too far from their tribal community.
There are currently 38 tribal colleges and universities across the country. There are currently no operating tribal colleges in California or the surrounding states, though California holds the largest American Indian population in the country. Statistics show that our Native students are not thriving in California's mainstream educational institutions. They're not attending college, and those who do are dropping out at alarming rates. The California Tribal College will bridge that gap and allow our students to learn in a culturally sensitive environment where their languages, their cultures, their traditions are embraced and encouraged.
There was such a culture shock in terms of growing up on a reservation, growing up in a Native community, and then you go to college and you feel like you're the only one. It's really challenging, and that was one of the things that almost prevented me from continuing on, was that culture shock and not having that connection with the campus and with other people, with professors.
We understand that our students are more likely to succeed when their cultures, their traditions, their communities are honored and respected. Understanding that there was a need for a tribal college in our state, Yo-Cho-Dee-Hee Wentoo Nation spearheaded the initiative to develop the California Tribal College.
Over 70 tribes and tribal organizations have signed formal resolutions in support of the CTC.
It's important for us to have a California Tribal College to serve all of the tribes in the state of California, one that we take ownership of, create curriculum that services our diverse tribal communities.
We are going to offer a quality of education that is equivalent to any other mainstream college.
Indians and immigration law.
We held our first certificate program at Yo-Cho-Dee-Hee Wentoo Nation in July of 2015 at the request of tribes seeking this type of information. This program serves as a crash course essentially on key areas that are important for any tribal leader to know and understand. We feature classes in California Indian history. It's very important for us to understand this history of our ancestors as well as the early history of the state because it impacts us currently today. We need to build a strong foundation from which we can grow as people and as nations.
A third of Aboriginal population died as a direct consequence of missions, and that's a conservative number.
The curriculum relates directly to how their lives have been and will be, and can help them move on and transition and transfer into four-year colleges and universities and perhaps beyond.
We also feature courses in federal Indian law and policy, historical trauma, tribal state relations, Indian Child Welfare Act, ethical decision-making, and Robert's Rules of Order.
We're going to talk about the S word. We're going to talk about sovereignty. We're going to talk about plenary power. We're going to talk about treaties. We're going to talk about political status.
They really exceeded my expectations with the federal Indian law. That was my favorite part. It was fascinating.
I think we've gotten great input from those first classes, and the program continues to grow and expand. I think the content continues to improve in every session I've attended.
You know, you can't get this type of education anywhere else. Having the tribal leaders actually come out, you have chairmen, you have former chairmen, you have vice chair people, you have treasurers, you have tribal council members coming out, we have elders coming out, and it's definitely a great networking opportunity for all these tribes to come together and to learn together and to network with each other and take that back to their communities.
Since I've been on council, I've been asking because I knew how important this was. I feel like I'd be more confident as a young tribal leader, knowing as much as I can to help my people.
The CTC will provide support for our students going through the higher educational system by offering culturally relevant curricula, honoring ceremony, our traditions, our languages, our cultures, and our communities. And in turn, we hope that our students will go back to their tribes and bring additional knowledge, assets, and resources to their people, which in turn will enhance nation building for all of us.
Myself and the chairman of Wilton Rancheria were able to attend the leadership program at Redding, and we were able to take a lot of the information and knowledge and be able to immediately implement it into our organization.
Not only my immediate family, but our extended family throughout our tribe, our community members. There's so much that what I've gained from here that I want to pass on to them.
The need for knowledge and the way in which it can be used by Native people to recover from a lot of the historic deprivations that we've had economically and culturally requires the place where people can go to learn. A place like the California Tribal College is a great opportunity. I strongly endorse the mission of the California Tribal College. It is an opportunity for people to gain the strength and knowledge that they need to do the best they can for themselves and their tribes.
The CTC has developed a 3-phase project plan and timeline, which we currently operate from. We have completed the first phase, which is the foundational work phase, and that's where a lot of our support building took place, and we gathered a lot of support in the vision of the California tribes. Also in this phase, we completed our feasibility study, and we also held our very first annual meeting and the election of the Board of Regents. In this first phase, the Board of Regents determined that the California Tribal College will be built in the Sacramento region with satellite campuses in Northern and Southern California. And the board also determined that the CTC will first start out as a 2-year college with a long-term goal of developing as a 4-year university. So now we are currently at the end of phase 2, which is the planning phase, and that's where we developed our strategic plan and we selected our partner college so that we could begin the accreditation process. We are now in the early stages of our last phase, which is phase 3, the implementation phase, and that's where we're developing our first associate degree program with our partner here at Woodland Community College, and we're beginning our journey to accreditation. Some of our recent milestones include our partnership with Woodland Community College and our move here to the campus. Woodland's been so welcoming, and we really look forward to our ongoing partnership.
I can tell you our board and our chancellor are absolutely committed to this morally, and we stand behind it. I stand personally behind CTC, and I'm absolutely confident they'll be successful in the coming years.
These conceptual renderings were developed in collaboration with HBG Design. It gives us insight into what the CTC can look like in the future, and it's really exciting because it really brings life to the effort. Thus far, we've completed 6 certificate programs in tribal leadership and governance, and the CTC has provided over 300 certificates to tribal and community leaders across the state. Every time we've held one of these programs, we've reached capacity very early on and have had to have a wait list for every program. This really shows that there is a need and a demand from the tribes to have this information available to their citizens and their leaders. This also stands as an indicator of the quality of education that we provide our students. Many of our students who complete this course go back and continue their education or have gone back to their communities and have been elected as tribal officials.
It has created a ripple effect. And I think that this ripple that everybody will create, taking this information out into Indian country, is going to be felt everywhere. It's going to be felt throughout California.
It's really important to acknowledge and honor Yochadihi Wintu Nation for their leadership, their support, and dedication in founding the California Tribal College and moving it forward for all tribes and all tribal community members. We continue to have more tribes and tribal citizens reach out to us asking for ways that they can support the CTC. One day, the CTC is going to provide degrees for our students. We will continue to provide quality education and support. We hope that the CTC will serve as a foundation or a home for our students and our allies in Indian country. The California Tribal College is vital for our future generations.
This is where you turn that little spark of flame into that fire.